I'm going to put the charts up right now, Charles. All right, good morning. And so the markets are extremely quiet. NASDAQ's coming in a little bit. Good morning, Fabio. We miss you over here. Hope you're doing well. Hope things are well over there in Italy. So the markets have been consolidating here in a quiet range. And yesterday was what did Dan call it? A crack spike? Something like that. This end of day rally that continued till it ended with that wide range bar and the market closed. But short term, that would have been a signal of the end of the cocaine sprint. There you go. Thank you, Dan. At least the short term end of that move up or slowing in momentum when we get a move like this and then a wide range bar like that. Anyway, looking at SPX, and as far as upside there, 4450 and 4460 are big open interest strikes, which I would say it's not getting through that today. This certainly looks like it could break out to there. There's not enough premium at 4460, but if it was to start to break out from here, you could look at that. Since things are relatively tight in the range, the premium isn't far away like it is when things are moving more so. But 4380, where there is some premium, where you could go down to. But breaking under yesterday's low could open up the door to there, obviously, but you've got lots of little support levels there. So 4,400 is a big level. And so I think 4380 or 85, probably 85 is where you'd have to go. It's not the most comfortable or no brainer, I should say. Right. 4385 has obviously more premium. And considering, this is at the top of the range here, you can see the futures are a little, slightly positive. This is positive here. This gap reversal day, or reversal day, I should say, where it took out the low. So I think 4380, 85. So if we get a down move, 4380 would be, I guess, the go-to. Because even if it should come down here, you got all this support and it would bounce off of that. You'd have to take the heat. Yeah. So trading range certainly is a historical pattern that says it's going to go up. I don't know what lit a fire under it at the end of the day yesterday, other than it wouldn't go down. So it went up, short covering. In any event, overall, the positive is, red bars ignored here. Green bars that close close to their high. It looks like a new closing high there. Not so decisive, meaning it's not a range expansion bar, but nonetheless, it's not a pattern you'd want to fade unless something unexpected happened, like take this bar and drag it over here, and that would be something unexpected. End of day rally. Where might that be? Oh, that was market maker buying as positive delta flow came into around. If you could break that down into English, all you option guys like to use this option terminology. Buying positive delta flow came in around. So those options came at the money, and it was called buying around 2 o'clock and put selling. Well, as we've discussed, all of that information, it's good stuff, and so as we look at things like that, it could be something that adds additional confidence to pressing the button. That's how I see it. Because the patterns here were one in which, you know, it was setting up, and if you were paying attention, which I wasn't, um, not feeling too well, usually I pay attention, but it wasn't one in which that would have said, "Hey, if you think, this has any potential here," and based on the daily chart, yes, um, uh, go ahead and press the button. And I'm a big preacher about money management because one of the biggest hurdles for all of us as traders and investors is the uncertainty of, and especially in a market like this, as to, is it going to wiggle this time? As you get a market that is more susceptible to wiggles than continuation moves, and we're never going to know 100%. There are different markets that provide more certainty than others. But, when I'm uncertain, I just lower the share size or the contract size. And sometimes I don't press the button for sure. It's just one of those things. And when you look at things and say, oh, woulda, coulda, shoulda, it's just what comes with human nature. But, the more you embrace the money management part of things to say, well, I'll just reduce the position size and see what comes and hit the button, the less you deal with woulda, coulda, shoulda. And then you just look at your batting average and see how things are going. That's really the bottom line. The ultimate certainty part leads you to what I call the black hole of analysis of, Elliott waves and GANs and speed lines and all of that hocus pocus. But in any event, is the trend up, down, and sideways? What is it in multiple time frames? Is there a tradable void? Is there a wide range bar saying it's going to go up or down? And trade what you see. All right, futures. So, I've got this area marked up here, and it doesn't mean it ain't going through it. The trend is up. It's just been tight. There's been lots of wiggles as of late, but this weekly chart is still quite bullish, especially with this bottoming tail bar and this consolidation here. And and unless we get a close, and I'm saying a close below a prior weekly low, because obviously we can get a break below a weekly low or a daily low, and things can recover because the buying the dip continues to be in full force. That dip was bigger. But until we get a close below a prior weekly low, we're going to have to assume buying the dip, and this is going to go up. And at some point, it's going to end. And I guess it'll be a big surprise to everyone because, right now the surprise is it just ain't going to go down. Whip there on the jobs report, which I have no idea what they said. In any event, it whipped up, it whipped down, and you wait for it to settle down here. Qs came up to the prior high where there was a big nasty red bar. That's rolled over. That's a fly in the ointment of the bullish case for the moment for the S&Ps. Continue to go up, but we'll just have to see if these recover. But that is a intraday anyway, a power drop to the downside. And as we look to the left, there's pivot lows there. So it's certainly not a place to hit the short button. Go into the factory work. What does it do here as it comes down to all of these lows? Does it bounce right back up into the void that was created? Does it consolidate here? Does it go sideways into 10 o'clock, which will open up the door to a move lower? And, at the end of the day, do we got a red bar? Do we got a green bar? Do we got a bottoming tail bar? Right now, we've got an inside bar. So keep, the intraday power move to the downside in perspective of a daily time frame and what's to the left. Right. And Russell holding up. This showed some great relative strength right out of the blocks yesterday in the morning. Then pullback pattern and up, and it held on to the gain. Um, so it's up at the top of this little range. And what we have now, as you can see, the weekly is in the middle of the range, and we've got, well, you see, I've got this green area moved up, but in essence, we've got a range, a little range right now inside a bigger range. And it could keep going up, but I don't press buttons into a prior pivot. I wait to see what it's going to do there. So overall, that's positive that it's able to show some strength, some money flowing into speculative issues. But other than just short-term taking advantage of technical move to the downside, maybe it just goes to the top of the range. We'll see. What we really want to see here, this is moving up, right? And we spoke about this yesterday a little bit. Actually, Debbie brought it to my attention, asking about buying TBT. And I said, sure, why not? As it was retesting this area here. So this is a positive that the 10-year is moving up. It's hitting some resistance, but these are positive signs that these longer term interest rates are beginning to stabilize down here. They've reached a destination point. We've got another bottoming tail bar. That's a good thing, because, these intermediate to longer term interest rates going down, as we spoke about back then, as they started to inch down, was, hey, all this idea about the strengthening economy and things are so great and so on, this flew in the face of it. It didn't make sense. And then all of a sudden, oh, the Delta so and so, and oh, all of that. We don't need to discuss that. Anyway, heard it to death already. Kind of even the CNBC stuff. I was like, can you talk about the markets other than this stuff anymore? I had to turn it off this morning. Anyway, this is a good sign. And what we want to see, and what was a great sign yesterday, was the fact that the airlines turned around, the cruise lines turned around, and that was a very positive sign. And where are you? Transports. Here we go. So we got this bit of a green bar, but if you look at the airlines and the cruise lines, they had wide range bars, and that looked good. So that was a positive sign. Interest rates going up. The S&P went up there, and the tech led the way. So they're deserving of a little profit taking, especially at a prior high. So let's not read too much into that right now. Truckers, yep. EHT. Well, that didn't do much of anything. CVX, but maybe some other truckers. Rails. Yeah, that might be a little baby breakdown failure. It's not doing anything here, but let's just set an alert up above this high here and see if it turns around. UNP. Yeah, pretty sloppy stuff. So not totally everything clicking, but look at American Airlines. Look at that wide range bar coming off of the 200 like that. So, there's positive sprinkles here and there. UPS. It's up a little bit, 191, 992. Well, let's set alerts. It's near this pivot low, so that's a nasty gap down. But set an alert here. Maybe this can play some catch up. But the ones with the wide range bars have a tendency to, just kind of settle in and consolidate the gain. So, we'll see what today brings. And then, the Dow, right, back up to the top of the range. What a freaking mess. But when you see this, the factory work says go to the higher time frame, condense the information, and we've got a bottoming tail bar. We've got a consolidation there. We'll see how it holds up there at the top of the range. So a lot of positives, still the uncertainty. Whatever. Corona, infrastructure. This infrastructure thing, I personally, I think it would be a huge positive sign if the administration would just back off their porky wish list and do the right thing. And I think the markets would really embrace that in a big way. But anyway, Wall Street it's about money, right? It doesn't care about the long term. I don't think if the short term it makes the markets go up, it'll deal with the negative when it comes anyway. Now, what the story was with Bitcoin, maybe Dan knows, but what a turn yesterday. And those stocks, this was kind of looking like yesterday. I mentioned maybe a measured move down. Maybe if we get a third day here, it would look, a lot better. And it just came off of that low with a vengeance. And, the stocks that, coin, I guess Dan will cover those. But anyway, the stocks that are related to Bitcoin had big turnarounds, but we've got lots of stuff banging their heads on initial resistance areas with a lot of positive signs, based on the weekly chart and turnaround in the, the airlines and cruise lines and all of that stuff. So we'll see how today unfolds. And I guess we'll look into next week after we see what happens here today. But as long as the weekly charts aren't damaged, I guess we'll just have to stick with the bias that this consolidation is going to lead to higher prices. And, so oil just kind of whipping all over the place. It came up to that long-term resistance we talked about weeks and weeks ago. Gold took it on the chin, and boy, is it taking it now. It can't get a break here, which means silver is as well. And the dollar, what's the dollar doing there? Kind of hanging up there, going nowhere. Euro right back down again. Well, as we say, it is what it is, but we'll see what today brings, and we'll look to next week, possibly that things break out of these ranges, and we'll see some relatively easy money, per se, if things can kick into gear. All right. All yours, Dan.
Easy money. I like the sound of that.
Relatively easy money, Dan. Here's a tip. Here's a clue that I found from my personal trading, and things begin to turn. Whereas, you take a trade and it hands you the profits so fast, it's unbelievable. But you take it and it doesn't stop. And now, initially you're looking for a way to get back in. But if the money comes so easy that it's a surprise, it's something that should make you to think, don't sell at all when it hits that resistance.
All righty. All right. All our opens are fine. We had a couple put spreads expiring today at full profit. Yeah, look at XLF. I saw here pre-market. We said yesterday that if it closes strong, which it did, then that was on our long list target, 38 and a quarter, but the gap's taken a big percent of that gain or potential gain. But yeah, Goldman looks fantastic. We traded that on that bar. We did a put spread on that day. Carvana for Emmanuel. Yeah, I think that had earnings yesterday. Wow. I heard him talking about it. That's just amazing. You hear me talking about just these insane moves from Corona low. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Like Jets here, we saw rebounding, but the problem is there's no pattern. But, bottoming process, it reversed right here in support. There's a price void on the weekly. So I think we can go hunting around in maybe the beat up leisure sectors, cruise lines. Greg mentioned CCL. That's a nice retest. We were watching Win and Win had earnings yesterday and LBS. Those both look like short-term bottoms. Myrna. Sure, that's far enough away, Jim. All right, I posted it. I went through all these earnings. There was a ton of them again. Let me go through my narrowed down list first. AIG, beautiful gap. If Gustavo was here, he came up with this name for us. It's a inverse head and shoulders, but notice it has two heads. So Gustavo came up with the term, oh, it's a Medusa head and shoulders. So that's beautiful. I mean, for a day trade here and a put spread, it's a beautiful gap. That's a beautiful Medusa. Let's see, Jose has a bunch of things to look at. Wow, Jose, you're loaded today, man. P10, HP, P10, yeah, it's a bear 1, 2, 3. I personally don't like shorting stocks as a general rule under $10, but it's a bear 1, 2, 3. Here, hold on, I'm gonna go through my winnowed down list first. Space, I said 30-minute high put spread, but I don't like when they give up 100% of the bullish gap pre-market. So that's now an iffy one. EAF, bottoming pattern, making the turn. I like the 20 MA flattened out at the rising 200. So that's a watch. Zulu Golf, another one. It had a bullish gap up, but it's coming in. But these are put spread watches. Card, not much volume, but breaking out. Monthly price void. MTZ, I thought it was gapping up. Now I can't tell. LTHM, gapping up. Put spread watch. GDEN, gapping up. Put spread watch. Bullish weekly. Plug, gapping at 28 bucks, 30-minute high. Yep, Duncan's right. It's coming up, McGraw. IEP, yeah, it's light volume. That's why it trades like that pre-market. GCI, gapping up, a buy setup. Duncan, nice gap breakout. Sure, that's a put spread watch, definitely. CNK, bottoming pattern, but this is a great example of what Greg would tell you all about an oscillator giving you a bullish divergence. So that notice, you know, this low, this thing's getting cranked and cranked and cranked. And now it made a new low and didn't go very far. So that's a bullish new low reversal. So that's a sign of a bottoming pattern with a big price void, and it's gapping up. So that's a watch. MGNI, gapping way up here. CPLG, it's bullish weekly. Zynga, yeah, no pattern. Bear call credit spreads. Expedia, nasty gap here to 150, way the heck down here at the prior low, but that's a nasty gap. Trupp, well, I saw it gapping down earlier. QDEL, there you go, nasty gap under all the support. Call spread candidate. And finally, this is where Greg orders his weekly food from Beyond Meat. It's bouncing here, so, you know, just got to keep an eye on it. All right, all those are in this bigger list. I just filtered out those. Now let's go back to Jose, HP, CBI. It is a 1, 2, 3, Jose. However, we don't trade 1, 2, 3s after multiple bars far from the 20. this is much, much better, 1, 2, 3. Because the wide range bar came from bearish consolidation. See that? If that just doesn't jump out at you, then write it down. That's a big, big difference. MBT, GMED, MBT. Can't tell where it's gapping. I have no idea. GMED, MMSI. It's a buy setup, a deep retracement. GMED T. Wow, you're coming up with some symbols I've never heard of. THRM. It's strong. You know, the only problem is there's no great support, so I'd rather a continuation pattern of some sort, and there's also very light volume. Otherwise, I was about to write it down myself. GMED, day trade is all sloppy. Thomas Oracle. I have no idea what time frame or pattern interests you. It's just a neutral trading range to me. Back, yeah, it's you know, the banks I like. We need to have somebody scan that sector. I'll do it obviously later when I have time, but you know, that's playing more of the dog catch up than strength, like Goldman. All right, let me continue now on this list in the remaining time. Oh, this is Weber. This went IPO yesterday. This is the Weber Grill. And I don't know what's up with it pre-market, but that's bullish pre-market. It's a gap, wide range, bullish 1, 2, 3. That's a big move though from the close of 1650. Since 0 DTE day, let me see if there's any fangs that we want to watch. Google yesterday's high would be fine. Tesla, nah, it's too extended. Facebook has been strong. I just didn't have much juice is all. Oh, somebody yesterday posted, gave us now, NOW. This is a put spread watch I like. AMD, we have a call spread. That looks like a great day trade short, folks. Look, we have a bear call credit spread. Descending triangle crack into the close. The continuation of the downtrend pre-market and target 110 to 109. So there you have a day trade idea. Amazon, yeah, Amazon. I'm not confident of the pattern for next week. Remember last Friday we did a beautiful 0 DTE on earnings. Netflix, we're already in a put spread. We're already in one, but it looks great. I mean, it looks great. Maybe for directional, it's a W bottom. So I like it for 0 DTE also, McGraw. Like it a lot. I had a Splunk alarm go off. Yeah, we have yeah, we're long stuck on that. That's why. Also, Deer alarm. Okay, Deer, I gave as a 1, 2, 3. So with the weak market, I'm gonna tell folks let's let me get rid of space here. Deer, let's wait for a pullback, and I'll watch it. AIG I see is ripping. That was our Medusa head and shoulders. Look, say